Gemini.
Hello Gemini, this is your forecast, astrological forecast for that of February 2016. And this month is going to be really good for you. Why? Because I see how you are initiating this month here, preparing for not just reaching for higher consciousness, but also reaching for those higher goals and also career. Not yet, but you're preparing this month here in February for what is to come here in March, which for many of you is going to be fantastic. So we have the new moon here on the 8th in the area of the 9th house. So that is you researching, diving, digging deeper, expanding your consciousness, reaching for those higher realms. And that new moon will inspire you to find the very quest that you're on right now. And whatever you can put down as intentions here on the 8th will not just behoove you here for this month of February, but it will set you up for the rest of the year until that of February next year when you have the new moon in this area. But you're starting now on a quest that next month, when Mercury and the Sun will be in your 10th house for career, that will open up new doors for you. Plus, here talking about the moon, we have a lunar eclipse in March. We're going to be talking more about that on a separate video, so be sure to look for it. But not do we only have a lunar eclipse here in March, but we also have a solar eclipse. So we got two big beginnings here next month. So what you're doing here in February is going to set you up so you can harvest the most out of these eclipses in March. But having the Sun too, passing through this area, this is your mind going off on those far-fetched horizons. And that's what pulls us forward in life, to have vision, to have those goals. This keeps us going, right? Nothing is more frustrating when suddenly the horizon disappears and all our goals have disappeared and we feel lost, like in the middle of nowhere. But this month, it's definitely setting everything up on that horizon so that you know where you're heading, where you're aiming, your goals are there, and the drive is really powerful. Let me tell you why though. We have Mars, which is your dynamic action, your activity, your desire nature. It is in the sign of Scorpio. And Mars used to be the ancient ruler of Scorpio, and we can still say it is, even though Pluto right now has the rulership of this area. But having Mars in Scorpio, that is a deep passion. You're going to feel this passion really take grip of you in February. You felt it in January as well, when it entered there into Scorpio. But here now you're coming through the conclusion this month of what it is you really want from your life, especially in the area of where you're wanting to make it more convenient. So whatever decisions you're taking right now, this is going to help you how the rest of the year is going to look like by setting everything up right now. So be good about being aware of and conscious of those choices, decisions that you make, whatever it is you're changing up right now. Boy, are you going to be able to harvest as we continue over these next few months. When I look ahead for you, it is looking awesome. You're strong right now, Gemini. Why? Because you're standing up for yourself. You're standing up for your choices, your desires within whatever close relationships you have. Not necessarily just between you and your significant other. Definitely there too. But it's also where I see you interacting with people one-on-one. This could be with your partners at work, whoever is important to you. You're carrying the signature of authority right now. And it is coming across. Because why? You're really determined. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. You're expressing this. And I feel as you do, you're bringing out the values of what you know you're worth. And this is where the main focus this month is, where we have Venus, we got Pluto, we got Mercury in that 8th house. For those things that you know that you deserve, you're attracting it, you're negotiating it, you're verbalizing it, you know what's fair, what's not fair. You're adjusting those scales now on your income level, not necessarily your monthly income, because that seems to be stable. Nothing new going on there. It's more, how can you stabilize the securities that you have, hold, and share? Royalties, commissions, expenses being shared between you and your significant other, or in partnerships where commissions or royalties, you can really drive it in right now and negotiate better terms. So if you know what you're doing and you are aware, this would be the time to actually look at how you can increase that in the long-term picture. Venus rules money. It's in the 8th house of your money now, to negotiate. Pluto is there to transform it. Pluto never does anything in small scales. Pluto's very powerful. It's like the little mustard seed. It's tiny, tiny, but it can really grow and expand. So you have this aspect once a year when Venus meets up with Pluto in this area. And so therefore, February here right now is very significant for you to get what it is you desire. Mercury's there to help you communicate. It's the ruler of communication. So you can do really well. Actually, here at the end of January, I could also see that this was already starting to kind of like open up those doors. But here, as you're coming through, at least here at the beginning of February, you're doing excellent, really well with this. We have the full moon this month, and that will come later on in the month on the 22nd in your area of home and family. So this area is going to be illuminated for you. This full moon is going to be in Virgo, which has to do with how we communicate, how we share, what we think about family. Have we spent enough time? Do we want more time with them? At least here on the 22nd, it looks like this will come home to you, and knowing how you've been doing, because it's going to illuminate your foundation, so to speak. Now this full moon will be also conjuncting up with Jupiter on the following day within those 24 hours there. So between the 22nd, 23rd, and so you will come to see that here there could be new things coming in, expansion. Jupiter always loves to expand everything it touches, so touching upon a full moon is beautiful. So this has to do with the foundation, where you live, how you live, and how you interact with family. Real estate and property might come into being as well. But I'd like to say, since we're talking about the moons right now, we have a lunar eclipse in March. We're going to talk more about that on a separate video I'll do for you, so make sure to be on the outlook for it. But not only do we have a lunar eclipse in March, we also have a solar eclipse. Now, the great thing about eclipses is that they carry the power of 3 full moons, or 3 full suns, with the solar eclipse, that is. And so it gives us those moments of quantum leaps where we can achieve very much in a very short time. It speeds us up, so to speak, and pushes us through the tunnel. And in order to come into these new areas and dimensions, we're also leaving something behind. We always do, from one room to another, right? So it will also help you, the universe will help you to eclipse those things out which no longer are important or necessary in your life. So that is in March. More on that when we speak of it on those separate videos. But let's take a look at the dynamics here as we start off the month. Mars, passion, desire, direction, goals, orientation, is doing the dance with Pluto, and Pluto is very transformative. Bring the two of them together, you could achieve a whole lot in a short time. Actually, within this day, which is February 3rd. When they meet together, you have Mars in the 6th house, you got Pluto there in the 8th house. So here I feel that you could secure or negotiate something now of value, especially because also on the 3rd, the Sun, which is you, and Saturn, which always wants to secure. It will put the anchor down. And so these aspects here are giving you the ability to achieve what can open up more harmony, more stability, better financial aspects. Look to perhaps refinancing your home could be one of those things. Getting a better interest rate will save money in the long term. Changing up maybe your investments might give you a better return in the long run. Whatever it is for you, it might just be you and your significant other looking at how you're sharing your resources, but regardless, this is the time to do so. Especially because on the 5th, Venus, which rules money, Pluto, which really wants to transform and amplify your money, there's a conjunction. So, and this is in your 8th house. So if you have or will be signing a contract that has to do with commissions or any other monetary contracts, like a mortgage or whatever, refinance, well, you should be able to really get a great deal on that. Venus, being money, and Pluto always wanting to improve those things. Great time. Especially on the 6th, there is several things now pointing towards how you're going to free yourself, liberate from something old, and move into an area where you're feeling that the communication or contract, the document that you might be also holding on the 6th is excellent. It is beautiful. Mercury rules communication. It rules documents and contracts. It rules also travel. Short distance travel is trining here with Jupiter. Jupiter will expand that, not just that horizon, but the whole conceptual area of your life. And so if you're traveling, you will have great travels on this day. If you're signing contracts, you will have a beautiful contract here. And so the good news is coming in from Uranus. And so up till the 6th, you might feel the anticipation growing with excitement, like how is this going to fall out? You will know by the 6th. On the 7th, you're happy. You're feeling that your life has come together. You've achieved exactly what it is you wanted. We have you taking some decision, some action. I see you busy on the 6th, but also because we have Venus and Mars sextile. That can mean two things. On a romantic level, we have Venus and Mars, right? Love. Well, they're harmonious and doing what they do best. Interacting, sharing, loving, being intimate, romancing. But also on more of a dynamic level, Venus rules money and security, Mars actions and so forth. So we can see how this is coming together with whatever it is you're speaking, sharing, negotiating, whatnot. You're feeling you're on the same page. So we have a great flow with it. Then on the 8th, like we mentioned, the new moon. That new moon here for you in the 9th house for higher consciousness, long distance travel. It could be publishing, teaching, anything of those natures here, which is very Sagittarian and Jupiter inspired since it is in that 9th house. Now the rest of the month, now when you've come through this and you've laid the ground for it, it's just fabulous. We have on the 10th, Venus and Jupiter in a trine. Love, romance, money, all those good things are going to be amplified here with Jupiter bringing abundance your way. Definitely a day to celebrate. And on the 13th, we have Mars, your desire, your goal orientation, your physical energy, coming in here with a sextile to Jupiter. And so, of course, Jupiter is expanding your energetic field. And so you might find yourself starting off on a new project or a new direction. In that case, well, you're starting off with wings and you will fly. If you're waiting for some news which has to do with health, in that case, it would be really good. Mars is in your health house, so Jupiter will make sure that whatever tests are coming back should be very good. If you're starting off on a diet, for example, or a new workout program or schedule, well, that Mars is going to be healthy, fit to fight, ready to go. Jupiter giving you that real big push that you need to get ahead. On the 26th, Mercury, communication. whether this is you speaking, sharing, publicizing, or receiving news. Well, you could receive some unexpected good news. It's Uranus knocking on the door, and Uranus also always brings the unexpected. In this case, it's good when we have great transits, then it should be good news, not like when it's squared or in opposition. So that's the 26th. Mercury here now, having moved into your 9th house, Uranus being in the 11th house. Well, this could come maybe even from out of town. It could even be out of state or out of country, from that 9th house to your 11th house. So it could be connected to your hopes or dreams, or the news can be coming from a group, an organization, or some friend. But whatever the deal is, it is and should be good. And then on the 29th here, Gemini, Venus and Saturn are sextile. So once again, love and romance being secured by Saturn, hanging on, anchoring down. And it's also a sense of authority. If you have any interactions with authority at this time, that should be good. It could be a new commitment taking place. That could be romantically, since Venus is involved. But it could also be financially. New financial commitments really now kicking in here at the very tail end of the month. And in that case, too, is positive. So you could see the last half of the month is a piece of cake. Really nice. And sometimes we deserve to just, surf that wave and trust the wave, knowing where it's heading in towards that beach, right? So enjoy it while you're there for the ride. We do have Jupiter retrograde until May 10th. And for you, here at Gemini, that's in the area of your home and family and your foundations. So I personally really appreciate the retrogrades, because why? Normally we're so hasty, we're moving ahead, we're pushing forward. But when we retrograde, it slows us down a little bit to look back over those things that we might have missed or lost along the road, and we can go back and check things out. Jupiter, which also normally brings us a lot of opportunity. We could have had some lost opportunities because we didn't have time or we weren't paying attention earlier. Now we can go back and look at it and retweak and think whether we still want to do this or that. And for you, it will have to do with property, real estate, or the home where you live, maybe upgrades, or it could be also good news or some interaction with family or family members. Whatever it is for you, only you will know. But it is within this area which will secure the foundation here of your life. So until May 10th, you will have that benefit of Jupiter slowing things down, so when you move forward, you won't have lost that. Now, since we're talking about property and real estate, and since you have all these planets up in the 8th house, it could mean that it could behoove a good time to refinance, for example, or start at least the process of thinking and looking at your credit, cleaning up your credit score, so that you could start the refinance in May, because you don't want to start it before, or at least sign before after May 10th. But it could be a good time to look back over that past credit, all those 8th house planets there. Now your Horoskopes will give you extra insight too, a totally different type of reading, but definitely very valid and important to what's taking place in February, so you might want to listen to those. But also, come look at where these transits are showing up in your moon or rising sign scope, which can show you other areas of beneficial aspects that can behoove you here this month. So I'll see you next month there in March. Looking forward to do the solar eclipse videos and share them with you when we get a little closer. So have a good month. See you next month.